Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, May 10th. Thank you so much for joining into our weekly healthcare reform webinars. My name is Deb Wilkinson. I'm the Vice President of the Health Plan Options Department at URL. My duties include overseeing the traditional group markets, the self-insured markets, including reference-based pricing, the employee benefits market for your worksite or employer-paid ancillary benefits, as well as what is left of the individual market and the short-term markets. So a lot on our plates here at URL, but hopefully you find these webinars informative and helpful, and hopefully a roadmap of what is ahead. So we do like to have questions, and for those of you that are new, there are a couple ways to ask those questions. You can either raise your hand icon in the control panel to the right of your screen, or you can type in your question in the question box and I'll answer that at the end of the webinar. So for those of you that are not new to the webinar, you know I struggle with technology. So if you can hear me okay and see my screen, just give your little electronic hand a wave so that I know that you are hearing me and seeing me. I have no, oh, there are the hands. Excellent. Perfect. All right. So let's get started with the agenda. There's not tons that is going on at the federal level or even at the state level that is really life or death, to tell you the truth. So the Pennsylvania House did approve Senate Bill 630, and this is the travel insurance bill. Licensed entity with a limited license must be in-house, and training must be provided to those specialists that talk about the product or promote the product, and they have to maintain licenses, appointments with the carriers that they're selling. So business as usual, in my opinion, except for that limited license. But again, business as usual. They have to be licensed to sell, and that's important to all of us that are. Pennsylvania House Bill 1800 did pass the House. That's the medication synchronization bill that would require carriers to fill partial fills on prescriptions when they're going from one coverage to the other. This is going to promote, obviously, better adherence to their medication treatment. And it does, House Bill 1800 prohibits insurers from denying coverage on the basis that it is a partial fill prescription. So I think that's a real positive. In the federal, there's one more thing. In the LegReg review that is in the newsletter, you're going to see some information from our insurance commissioner, Jessica Altman, about the short-term medical rules. As we all know, the comment period for the expansion of short-term medical past the 89-day limit what was proposed. The comment period ended 4/23. We're kind of hearing two different things. We're hearing that the expansion is going to take place, and if it does, it will be for 1/1/19. But we're also hearing that it could be extended to 12 months or 6 months. Obviously, the expansion or extension of the short-term medical sales from 89 days to 12 months would be ideal for us that are in the industry and for consumers that are looking for affordable alternatives. If we get the 6 months, it's still doable, but clearly still has some vulnerability there at the end of the 6 months. National General is planning on offering, if they do get the 6 months, offering, a 6-month policy where it automatically rewrites for an additional 6 months at the end of the one policy. So they're still going to go with that concept if the 6 months is approved. And of course, if the 6 months is approved and somebody comes off of the plan and has something that would eliminate them from coverage on a new short term, there is a guaranteed issue short term. Neither of them cover pre-existing, but again, still some vulnerability if it's approved for only 6 months, but there are some workarounds. VA compromise VA Choice Compromise Bill. It did pass the VA Affairs Committee on Tuesday, and it does look like it's going to be moving forward. There's you know, some different thoughts, of course, and people talking about it, but it does really give the veterans an alternative from the VA hospitals if they can't get in within a certain amount of time, or if treatment is better suited outside of the hospital system. So I'm sure we'll learn more about that and what that really means, both for the under 65 market and the over 65 market, but I did want you to be aware of it. Conservatives from the Heritage Group are set to release an ACA replacement plan and are trying to keep the repeal of the ACA alive. They're saying there's no chance, at this point of making it through. Rick Santorum is leading that charge. The plan that they're proposing, like the Graham-Cassidy, includes block grants to the states, taking money now being spent on Obamacare subsidies and Medicaid expansion instead of packaging it into the block grant, not cap Medicaid spending. So there are a lot of other things, and I won't spend a lot of time on it because, as it says, no chance at it passing at this time. So that's the legislative quick update. On to product information. United Concordia Life and Health Insurance Company became United Concordia Insurance Company on 1/1/18. The certificate of assumption is in this week's newsletter. United Concordia will be sending out information to the certificate holders on how to obtain a copy of the certificate of assumption. It's not a big deal. Clearly, there's no change in coverage, network, et cetera. It's just a change of name, and your clients that are currently insured are not in jeopardy of any change in their coverage, but they are required by law to get the notification out, and that's why I'm mentioning it. Aetna. So Aetna grandmother keep what you have strategy. As we know, the grandmothering provision was set to expire 12/31 of this year, 12/31 of 18. It has been extended to 12/31 of 19. Carriers, of course, that comes from the federal government, that each state has the ability to say, yes, we're going to allow for grandmothering, or we're not. And our state has agreed to extend to 12/31 of 19. That doesn't necessarily mean that each carrier has to go along with that, and Aetna, Coventry are not. They are not going to extend the grandmothering provisions, starting with September 2018 renewals. So this is also in the newsletter. It's a little bit confusing, so I'm just going to kind of try to highlight the big points, but you'll want to make sure that you check into the newsletter that's coming out in about 15 minutes, pardon me, and make sure that you read the Aetna blast so that you have a better understanding. But upon renewal, your clients will receive an Aetna ACA quote, you know, a 2 to 50 ACA quote, and an Aetna AFA quote, which is their level-funded, self-funded program. 9/1 to 11/15 renewals, the letters are going out stating that they can't keep what they have and giving alternates. And then the 12/1 renewals to 1/1 will follow, stating the same thing. Coventry, which is now owned by Aetna, with September and October renewals, will have the opportunity to extend coverage through 10/31 of 18 to allow additional time to make a decision. They're just, you know, kind of extend that current coverage. And Aetna with September and October renewals will receive an alternate quote and do not have the extended time to make a decision. Again, a little bit confusing, but if you have questions about it, please give me a call or check into the blast that's in the newsletter. So now for some great news. We have a webinar on Wednesday the 23rd at 2 p.m. with Highmark Central, and they're going to be talking about their third quarter and fourth quarter strategy and what to expect for 2019. But they also have filed for a rate reduction in Central PA, for Central PA Highmark in the 2 to 50 block. So In combination with that, they are offering a bonus, and that's for July 1st effective dates through December 1st effective dates. For a 2 to 9 group that's issued, you're going to get 120, and for a 10 to 50 group issued, you'll get $240. I'm going to bring up the flyer just so you see it, but it is in your handout. Please come up. Oh my goodness, very slow. There we go. So here is the actual blast. You can see that the total amount is 150 for the 2 to 9 and 10 to 50, 300. But you'll also see that that must be split 80-20 with a producer, and you get at least 80% of it, and each the GA gets the rest. So just wanted to, we get to keep the rest. So the bonus is 120 and 240. Still a very lucrative bonus, especially knowing what we know about the rates for 7-1 through 12-1. I think this is going to be a pretty darn easy bonus for everyone to take advantage of. So if you have additional questions on that, please let me know. But I would say start quoting Central Highmark, and you're going to see where you're probably going to transition a lot of those Central PA groups. Highmark Blue Edge Vision is now available as of 7-1 for 51 plus groups. Vision is highly sought after in many of the larger groups. They are now rolling it out, but in addition, they offer a 24-month rate guarantee. I think that's a pretty darn good offer, and that's why I wanted to at least mention it. Here are some of our upcoming events. We've talked about this for the last couple weeks. May 16th, which is next week, 2 p.m., webinar on generating new revenue from voluntary benefits. That's going to be sponsored by Sun Life. May 17th, Central Pennsylvania Association of Health Underwriters is having an event, Cocktails with Class. That's from 3 to 5, sponsored by the American Heart Association. It's over at the Capital Blue Crossing NOLA building. A good way to interact with your contemporaries and network and learn about the American Heart Association. And then what I just mentioned, May 23rd, a webinar at 2 p.m. with Highmark talking about third and fourth quarter changes, as well as what to expect for 2019. Another offer, Colonial Life, our representatives with Colonial Life are offering to come in and sit down with you and review your group health block and discuss opportunities within your block, and then go out and get those. So they are currently setting up appointments. There are some dates set aside for this. It is a great way, again, to build that stickiness with your clients in the group market, add additional lines of revenue. And the great thing about working with Colonial is that they do all the work. They go out, do the enrollment, they correspond with your clients about the worksite products. And our reps are fabulous. So I think that if you have an interest, please get in touch with Elise. Her email is right here, ELYSES@urlinsgroup.com. And that brings us up to our open discussion and questions. Hopefully you have a lot. While you're formulating them, I will just say thank you for joining our forum. We appreciate everyone joining in every week. I know you guys are awfully busy, and you're only going to get busier as we get further into or closer to fourth quarter. So again, I do appreciate your time. So let's see if we have any questions today. We do have a few. Oh, Jay wishes all of the mommies out there a happy Mother's Day. So that is awesome. Thank you, Jay. Okay, Dave says, just as information, currently in Maryland, short-term medical can only be for 3 months, then must be a 63-day wait to get another short-term medical. Different states, that's a good point, Dave. Different states have different guidelines as far as what they term a renewal, and I'm doing my quote-unquote sign. It's not really even a renewal, and that's why I think it kind of gets in the weeds a lot, because it is an actual rewrite. It's a brand new policy, brand new pre-ex, brand new policy number. So I think some states were just adamant that, you can only buy these for a certain amount of time, and then you have to have that extended time within or without coverage to apply again. But Pennsylvania is not like that. Pennsylvania allows for the rewrite right after, when one policy terminates at midnight, the other policy activates 12:01 the next day. Jay says, you broke off between the Fed House and VA choice comment. Could you repeat? Yes. The VA Veterans Committee did move forward the VA choice bill. So that is, they want to have some sort of vote in the House on that. Not sure, how that's going to go through, but essentially it would give the veterans a choice of going outside the VA hospital system if there was a long time before they could be seen, or if the treatment was better served outside of the VA hospital system. And yes, everybody's excited for the reduction in Highmark rates. We're happy about that too. That is all of our questions today. As always, I truly appreciate you guys joining in, and my contact information is right here. I'm at extension 113, debw@urlinsgroup.com. If you have any additional questions, don't wait till next week. Reach out to me either by phone or email. Happy to answer your question, and my promise to you is if I don't know the answer, I can research and get you a good answer and a correct answer. So take advantage of that. I'm always happy to help, as is my team. So with that, I wish all of you, all of the mothers, a happy Mother's Day, as Jay said, and wish all of you a great balance of the week and a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.